win. I'm never going to win $10,000, $20,000 because to do that, you've got to put it out there and keep putting it out
Yep.
there
At
and
risk.
hope that the seven doesn't come.
So first of all, welcome to Mark the Point. I got Jeremy here from Color Up. Jeremy, welcome to the show. This is actually the second one, and Jeremy is somebody that I've really looked up to when I started my YouTube channel, or even way even before that. When I was even still I kind of knew a little bit about crafts, but you really helped develop me into some of the different ways of thinking and how to do things, and I really do appreciate that. Um, but Jeremy, go ahead if you don't mind. Just for anybody, I'm sure everybody knows you here, but if in case they don't, kind of say who you are and what you're about.
Well, how I got started, I don't know. That's a big topic. You'll have to ask me some specific questions. But first off, I do want to say thanks for having me on your show. Congratulations. You just recently hit 1,000 subscribers. So
Thank you.
I remember back in my journey, that's a huge milestone. And what do I do? I guess I'm a YouTuber, right? I guess that is a thing nowadays. So I'm officially a YouTuber. I don't know what you write on. Previously I wrote in content creator on my tax return, but I think I can write YouTuber. I don't even know the rules. It's kind of new to me, but that's what I do. Gambling content, and more specifically, or primarily, I should say, is dice, right? Craps. So
Oh yeah.
that's what I
Well,
do.
you have a website that people can submit strategies. That's what you do. You take a lot of videos or a lot of systems that people submit to you. Um,
Hmm.
Typically, how many do you get a day or a month or a week? Do you get like hundreds?
Well,
And then you
not
kind of filter through them and say, you know what, this may work. Or if you don't understand the system, you're like, yeah, I don't think it's going to be
when
good.
I first instituted, I've got a lot. Now they come in once a day, maybe once every couple days. I think because people realize that people have submitted videos 5 years ago and it hasn't been played yet because my database is, I think it's like 700 or 800 videos now, or strategies. The problem is a lot of them are similar.
Hmm.
Some of them I go through, they're just way too difficult. So some of them kind of get eliminated. But I do, if it's unique, it has a kind of a unique name or style to it. I'm always on the lookout for them.
Yep.
And it just kind of, I balance like, hey, do I want to show a strategy of that I've kind of been liking? Am I going to do a live video in the casino? Am I going to do, a strategy that's really big in the community that Hawaii crap shooters did? So I kind of got to
Hmm.
balance those. And I like to do 2 videos per week. So I've only got so many time slots because I kind of think of it like in programming in a TV sort of way. And so,
Yep.
it would, I can't do a dice advice strategy video every week. And even if I did, let's say one a week, 700 weeks,
Yeah.
it
Whew.
would be forever. So I think it slows down because people realize, if I submit this, it's probably not going to get shown. So,
Hmm.
I appreciate people still sending them in, but yeah, it's a long shot for it to get shown. But if it's unique and it has a great like name to it,
Hmm.
it moves to the I don't yeah it moves to the top of the list for sure. But yeah, it's slowed down because I think people realize like, dang, there's probably a little likelihood that it'll get shown.
You always, it seems like you have your face in a lot of your thumbnails. I've tried that twice and my videos have plummeted. I'm not sure if I'm just an ugly face to look at or
No,
what it
trust
is,
me. I
but
mean, look at this. This it's not the face. So
what
that's
have you
just
learned by thumbnails, by video titles, just kind of anything that you could think about, or maybe the algorithm? What kind of suggestions would you offer, or do you think they're even, how much is it
yeah.
worth?
I mean, I've experimented a lot. Sometimes I do without the picture of myself. Sometimes I don't. But at this point, I am known, right? And I recognize that. So I know. So it's basically about branding. So, when you're scrolling through videos, oh, there's Jeremy. That's one of
Hmm.
his videos. I want to click on it, right? So at
Yep.
this point, people know who I am, and it's just about branding. It's just a way to people recognize that it's my videos compared to, like you said, there's over like 300 channels now, right?
Hmm.
So if you're subscribed to a lot of them, what's the difference in all these? So
Right. Yeah.
that's an easy way to differentiate myself.
Hey guys, I hope you're enjoying this content. If you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button, the like button, and make sure your notification button is turned on. The channel has been growing all because of you. I put out content like this every single week. Please make sure you're up to date. Make sure you hit subscribe. Until next time, thanks for watching. Let's continue with the video.
Is I've done a lot of things. I've I found that the thumbnail has to tell a story of what the video is about. I see a lot of guys who use like a lot of text and they're clever. And by a quick glance at it, you have no idea that it has to do with craps. So you'll see in almost every single one of my thumbnails, they have like the craps layout behind me or the dice or something that lets people know instantly, hey, this video is whatever. I mean, it's cool. Like if it's about money or whatever, these crap videos with, I don't want to say the wrong thing, but it's like climbing the ladder to success, and they show a ladder and a stack of money or whatever. People might think that's a business video, but they certainly don't think it's a craps video. So if they click on it, they go, "This guy's playing a dice game." Like, I'm out.
And the drops fall off right whenever they click on it.
Right. So that's a big problem if you got a video that a lot of people are dropping off in the first 20 seconds. So you want to give them a story of what they're going to see to anticipate, and you don't want to trick them. It's a fine line, which is a little more to do with titles. But as far as thumbnails, just kind of tell the story. I don't worry about being too repetitive. People are busy. Like you as a creator, you're like, man, my thumbnails look similar. I feel like I'm seeing the same thing over and over again. But if you get in the mind of the viewer, who you should always make your videos, thumbnails, titles, with the viewer in mind. And those viewers, they work their 9 to 5. They're busy doing whatever. They watch their favorite TV shows. Sometimes they hop on YouTube on their phone while they're in the bathroom and they see your thumbnail. To them, it's not repetitive. It's like, oh, it caught my attention. I know it's about craps. Let me watch it.
Right.
So you don't have to worry about being too repetitive. If you find something that works, I would kind of, stick within that range a little bit and, kind of build a brand where people recognize that it's, your video versus someone else. So that's what, beyond that, I don't know if I have, unless you have a specific question about thumbnails, that would probably be it, would be.
No. So one thing that, one little bit of advice. So actually I'm going to pull two things out of that. I use your face for my thumbnail for this live because nobody knows who Mark LaPointe is.
There you go.
Nobody knows who I am, right? So I grabbed a random video that you had. I took a screenshot of it, deleted the background, and made it where that way. Hey,
You could have asked. I would have sent you a picture, but no,
uh,
I know you don't want to. I appreciate that, but yeah, that's exactly the point. You were branding the video with a recognizable character, right?
so real quick, I just want to thank you, Jeff. Jeff, you're awesome. So this is actually my very first one. I've never had any kind of thing like this. So I appreciate you, Jeff. Thank you so much for giving and for your support for the channel and really helping us out. I really appreciate that. And then the second thing that you did was, and I remember reaching out to you. So I had a pretty long email, if you remember it. But one of the questions was, about my, and one of your feedback was about my intro.
Okay.
So I had the intro where I had one slide, then I had my phone kind of scrolling up through all my other videos. So it was like a 20-second intro, and you're like, dude, he goes, I was trying to give you feedback, and I almost clicked off of it, right?
Yeah,
So
hopefully I wasn't too brutal there, but yeah, I
oh
get a
no,
lot of emails. So people again, they're gonna sit down with their phone. You got them right. The huge part, they see the thumbnail, the title's intriguing. Let me click on this video, and now I'm watching like a commercial. For one, on YouTube, you have to a lot of times wait for the commercial and hit that skip button as fast as you can. But now I'm watching like another commercial, like 30-second. Right, this isn't Game of Thrones, right, with the big epic intro. This is some guy's craps video, and I got to sit through it for 30 seconds. Come on, just get to the stuff. So I found you gotta get to the meat, and you gotta get to the content pretty quickly.
Yeah, and since you gave me that information, I changed my intro. I'm down, I think, about 5 seconds now.
Okay.
And then I just kind of
I
go
like
with
to
it
be in
after
that 2 to 3 second, but Yeah. Really, it's just to let them know who's making the video. And I've kind of thought about you probably could just do that with like a lower third or something. But it is nice to have like a little something to break it up. So I've kind of
Yep.
stumbled upon in that first, 10 to 30 seconds, letting people know what my video is going to be about. Then just, flashing my little logo, which was from my failed epic video,
Hmm.
right? Just letting them know, hey, you're watching Color Up, and then move on. So,
Yeah.
yeah, there's no
Yes.
right or
That.
wrong. But for me, I found, people want your stuff until
So
you're,
again, this is kind of an impromptu question. I just now kind of thought about it. So the length of your videos, it seems
Mhm.
like most of your videos between 18 and 22, 23 minutes. Um, do you feel like that's your niche? Do you feel if you get over 25 minutes to 30 minutes that you feel like the people lose interest and you lose viewership, or how
Yeah,
do you
that's a
feel
good
the
question.
length
I
of a
don't,
video
I
impacts
think
your?
I've just kind of stumbled upon that in making videos. I always kind of recommend people, and I have some that do short, right? Learn how to play craps in 4 minutes. Well, it kind of goes with the title, but I don't need to stretch that out to 15 minutes if I can make it 4 minutes. I would love for all my videos to be under 10 minutes. Me, again, thinking about the viewer, I don't want to watch a 20-minute, 30-minute video unless it's, some major TV production. I
Right.
want to watch a how-to video. It should be short and sweet. I've kind of ended up in that 15 to 20 just because of the nature of how most of my videos work is, which is introducing a strategy, explain how it
Mhm.
works, and then the live roll. So if I did, if if I wanted to, I could trim it down to 10 minutes. My live roll wouldn't exist, or it'd be like one
Yeah.
roll.
And you're not really proving out any system if you only do it for five
Yeah,
minutes,
I
and
mean,
you're not
not that
really
you could prove
not
out a system in
right.
10 minutes, but it gives a little taste for it. But I found that I'm still getting the viewership there in that time range, so I continue to do it because people continue to watch it. But if I could shorten it, I would personally. But it seems to work. Okay.
So I know you're big into DiceCon. You had the idea of DiceCon, and I actually lumped that a little bit with Craps and the Cure for the Cure. I know John from CGTV does this portion of it with y'all, and this y'all's a team effort. What is that like? What First of all, what sprung the idea of DiceCon? Where did it evolve from? And kind of tell me a little bit about it.
Well, first off, Craps for the Cure is all John, so he does an amazing job. Him and Casino Gaming. I just show up, and he had me as a guest speaker last time, so he's the one who puts that together, and they pick good fundraisers and reasons to give good charities.
It's
So
great.
that's all on him. He's more of a kind soul than I am. But as far as DiceCon, I started a club um, beyond my YouTube. I knew I wanted to start a club just to kind of connect people. So I started an online club. I still run to this day. There's, I think we have like 400 members or whatever. But part of that is like trying to get people to play together. For me, I always play by myself. So all those years learning the game, playing the game was always by myself. I didn't know anybody. So it really just got me thinking, hey, I want to start a club. I want to give an opportunity for people to meet online and play together. And so we do that, and we play fantasy craps, and people,
Hmm.
you kind of develop relationships online, but there's still a little element missing when you get to know them pretty well online.
Right.
But I really wanted to get an aspect where we come together as people. So that's where I'm like, hey, DiceCon, everyone usually has Vegas on their calendar to get to Vegas once a year to play anyway. So, hey, well, I'll just meet up in Vegas and actually meet these people. So really, that was the idea behind DiceCon, was just getting people together in a physical location. Vegas is easy because, like I said, everyone's already going anyway. So just
Hmm.
I was like, I have a big following, so I go, hey, this date and this time, let's all meet together, and that's how it works out. So we meet up and we have a good time.
And I think y'all got a couple other meetups coming up in Seattle, and
Yeah.
some. I know John speaks about them a lot. It's great that we can kind of get together. Unfortunately, I'm not able to make it. I got
Okay.
some other plans,
Yeah, in September
but
he's hosting one up in
yep.
Seattle, so it's kind of like a regional meetup, which I'm looking forward to doing. Kind of more and more of those. It's just I can't. I need someone in a host city. Hey, if you're out there, Biloxi, Atlantic
Yeah.
City,
Yep.
wherever, you kind of gotta, make the calls to casinos, get some reserve table, or just kind of arrange a little bit, and I'll do the promoting part, and get people there. But yeah, I'd love to kind of get around the country and do regional
And,
meetups is my goal too.
and to kind of say what you're saying, so I am kind of the face behind a computer, right? So nobody, I've never met any of the guys, and I've gotten so much support from the craps community through the CGTV with, with Mid Atlanta Craps, with Pro Craps, with Dice Degen. I mean, the whole group has really supported me, and it's actually it's a great group, man. They
Yeah,
all get
yeah,
together,
there's so many
and
amazing people, and when you get when you meet them personally, it's like you know them, and you're just kind of already good friends. So it's an interesting dynamic. It's not awkward or anything. It's just like, hey, there you are. We finally
yeah,
get to meet
yep,
face to face.
yep,
But I mean, you already know them, and they're already. The cool thing is they're all great people. So
yep.
yeah.
And then I believe is in this video is Mid Yo. So of course,
Yeah.
he's passed away now, and but that's the drive that they did to promote his to help his family, not promote, to help his family. It's not just about throwing dice. It's not just about trying to make a dollar. These people really care about each other, and that's super cool. You don't find that everywhere,
Yeah.
and we found that here, which is really awesome. So you also have a different channel that you've kind of just started, Color Up Poker.
Mhm.
What made you want to do Color Up Poker and just kind of branch out to something different?
Well, I'm a full time YouTuber, right? So I got to make
Okay.
YouTube content. It's just kind of evolved from that. I mean, it's another game that I didn't really know anything about. I want to learn. It's a game that I know there are professionals. There's positive EV in the game, so you can learn it and be good enough and skilled enough. And there is some luck involved, but you can be skilled
Hmm.
enough to make a living and win at it. Some So it's just kind of a natural progression of, hey, I'm already in the gambling sphere, why don't I try my hand at poker? And because I mean that was really, why am I getting rid of my clients? Well, it's probably not to, although maybe I do too much of it, is lounge around the house or outside with my wife. Really, I need to do some other things, right? And so really, Color Up Poker is just part of that. Hey, let's stick in this gambling
Hmm.
arena. Let's let's attack something, learn something that I don't know enough about, and yeah, really, it's just about my journey there.
Have you thought about entering into a big poker like a tournament or like one of the bigger ones, or are you just going to
Oh
kind of
yeah,
stay
like
low
World
low right
Series of
now?
Poker or anything. No,
Yeah,
well, I mean,
be like a Christmas moneymaker, right?
yeah, sure. I think that's a $10,000 entry, so that's not happening anytime soon. I don't have
Ooh.
$10,000 to burn because I know I'm not going to make it
Mhm.
anywhere. But yeah, I set a goal in that channel to become a professional in 900 days, which is about 3 years or so. And I don't mean like become a professional poker player. I'm quitting YouTube. I just meant like my earning rate per hour, because you can plug that in, and between that and what the channel earns on YouTube, if I can like make 40,000 a year based on those numbers, I'm a professional poker player, right? So that's kind of the goal and the idea behind the channel. And it's kind of like the more you learn about poker, the more you learn nothing about poker. So it's a very
Right.
fascinating, easy game to learn, incredibly difficult to master. And there's so many aspects to it, and that's what I love about the game of craps. There's so many different ways to play it and try different things. And with poker, it's the same thing. There's no right or wrong way to play it. Sometimes you got to be
Mhm.
aggressive. Sometimes you have to be conservative. It's just you got to worry about the other players, and
Right.
so I really have been loving it.
So there's a little plug I'm going to try to do here soon. I'm going to be ordering me a roulette table. So
Oh wow.
I played roulette for a long time before I got into craps. So I'm probably going to try to roll out some roulette strategies soon. And I thought about going to like the whole blackjack thing, but to me, I almost feel like it's you either know the system or you either know the books of how to play,
Yeah.
or you don't. So much is driven by
Hmm.
you know
Yeah.
how you're
You learn
supposed to hit
basic
a
strategy,
card.
and you should play it.
Yeah.
and that's kind of all there is to it, right? Otherwise,
Exactly. That's why I felt like
right,
even though there's so many channels that boom in that market,
right.
I mean, I don't know. I'm not sitting at a table with a camera in front of me. I'm not near a casino to be able to kind of show as I'm playing stuff like. Where do you want to see the crap community direction go next? Basically, where do you want to see it going?
Um, that's tough because there's a lot of creators now, right? People who are, and I love it. People are just turning on their cameras and they're sharing what they're doing, which I think is cool. So there's like, it's almost like there's this different thing. There's this online community, but I'd love people to bring it offline and really get be meeting up locally and trying to build clubs, for lack of a better term, and
Mm-hmm.
groups. Hey, every Friday night we meet at this casino where we're all at. With enough people online, there should be ways that people are connecting and meeting up. You shouldn't have to go to your local place on Thursday through Sunday and
Mm-hmm.
not know anybody. I'd love to see more of that kind of connection. And as far as I guess that's the community side for it. And as far as the game of craps, at one point it was like the biggest game in the casino, and I just want to
Mm-hmm.
make sure it doesn't go anywhere. Right. So
Yep.
as long as people are still getting in the game, there's always new players.
Yep.
There's lots of content about it. The game isn't going to go anywhere. So I'd love for it to kind of, get back up there where the popularity of, baccarat and blackjack and roulette. I think it's probably like fourth in table games nowadays. But
Yeah. So
yeah,
David and I was talking about that kind of that thing last segment was, you know, he was, I guess, talking to his pit boss at one time, and thinking that craps was dying because it's a the elderly couples or elderly gentlemen playing, usually a little bit older. But I feel like I'm seeing a lot more younger people, come to the tables. Maybe they don't know exactly, what they're doing 100%, but at least they got a concept of playing. But it's definitely one of the most exciting games to play.
well, I mean, I think like we mentioned earlier, my top two channels are like how to play craps and how to play
Mm-hmm.
craps in 4 minutes, a million views. So
Yeah.
people,
Entry
these are
level.
new beginners, and I get
Yep.
really encouraged because I get so many comments every day, and a lot of them are, "Oh, that's so cool! I just played this game for the first time. Thanks for teaching me this. I've just played for the first time, over and
Yep.
over and over again." So obviously, new people are coming into the game, and that part is really encouraging. So
And he and Dice Grinder's got a question out of my little memory bank here. Uh, when you go to a casino, what strategies have you seen that actually work?
no, I mean I'm pretty famous on my channel for saying any strategy can win at any time. No strategy works long term. I
Mm-hmm.
think I've hammered that home enough that people understand where my point of view is that you're not going to beat this game long term. But so many what I see in my play over all the years is people will go in whatever. I don't necessarily think the strategy is the problem. I think it's the mindset. People will win. They'll win on a number, then they'll press the number. They'll win on a different number. They'll cover another number. They'll press another number, and then they'll get wiped out and they'll be like, dang it, that was a 15, it's a 15 roller, right? Which
Mm-hmm.
is twice what the math says it should be. So they're 15 rolls in, they've hit multiple numbers, and they left it all out there or they pressed it all out there and they lose it all. And they do it again and they do it again. And then, their $300 to $500 is gone and they're like, ah, and they walk away from
Right.
the table. From what I've seen in my own experiences, you've got to collect some money to stay at the table. So
Out the hands as
I'm
fast
kind
as
of
you
a big
can.
fan of either starting really extremely small and expanding or regressing, getting some money off the table first. So when that seven it's coming,
Yeah.
you're not going to be at a loss because if you just I mean it yes, I'm never going to win 10. I think someone I got to answer them in the comments. They asked me like what's my biggest win. I'm never going to win $10,000 $20,000 because to do that you've got to put it out there and keep putting it out
Yep.
there
At
and
risk.
hope that the seven doesn't come. So yeah, you can hit the home run, but how often does that happen? So
Yep.
from what I've seen is people who are like, I got $60 out there. Cool. I hit two or three numbers. Let me pull some money back. Maybe not all the numbers. I don't say go off, you should still keep we're gambling, right? Keep some numbers
Mhm.
covered or whatever, but get your money off the table so when that seven happens, at least you've
Yep.
broken even. And if you have a longer roll, you can win some, pocket some money. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm
So
more of a base hitter guy than a home run guy, but
I,
that's what I've kind of seen.
I've actually had two different, and you're gonna kind of think this is funny. Two different times I've made really good money. One time was $4,800. Ironically, the other one was about $4,500.
Okay.
The first time I did that, I was in Vegas, and I played a system that you actually, I think you call it your favorite system, right?
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, I think it's you start with the inside, you have a field bet, and then your first hit you go to the 10, second
Right.
hit you
That's
go
one
to
of
the
those
four.
strategies where you start extremely small and just kind of spread
Yep.
out and hope for, you got to have a big roll. But
Yep. I made $4,800 in Vegas.
oh, that's awesome.
It's been about 5 years ago, 4 years ago now. And then it sounds great. My morph system, I made great. I made $4,800 in that playing my morph system, and it's a complex system. But anyways, there are there are ones that can, but you have to know two things. Like bankroll, bankroll is a
Mm-hmm.
big one, right? So if you can't play a system if you don't have the proper bankroll, you're going to lose
Mm-hmm.
because you can't go all in and not have the bankroll to support it. And I think people just get greedy. They want to go for the home run. They want to try to say, okay, I know I'm going to hit it again. I know I'm going to hit it. And they never regress it down or never pull it back. That it just seems like
Yeah, it
that's
depends
the
on personality,
mentality.
mindset, goal. Like some people don't care, right? They have $1,000. They're in Vegas. They're there once a year. They're there for their work convention. They're only going to play craps one night. They don't care. So they make the bets and they're like, I'm going to win 10,000 or lose my 1,000. I don't care, right? So a lot of us are more we want to regularly go to the casino, so that's kind of plays into like, boy, I'd be happy to win $200, this
Hmm.
weekend, and then maybe next month I win 500 or 1,000 or whatever.
Yep.
But just kind of, some people are different, right? And they're like, I don't care, $5,000, $10,000, $1,000, I'll just whatever, I'll just give it a try and see what happens, because sometimes it does, they can win right away and real quick. And so it just kind of depends on what their goal is.
And I think that luck that could also depend on the factors of how often do you go to casino.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I live in Georgia. I'm nowhere near a casino unless I go to a riverboat off out of Brunswick. But I mean, I may hit casinos 4 times a year max.
Mm-hmm.
But when I'm there, like I said, if I go to Vegas, I'm there for 5 or 6 days. So I got a chunk of money with me, and I know if I lose it all, I know what I'm going to lose, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I bring it there knowing, but there's some people who are casual, So if for me, it's not a 10% thing. I know some John's a big thing of 10% be done and then come back the next day or 2 days, whatever.
All right. If you
I
have
can't
access to come back the next day, that makes a lot of
exactly.
sense.
Yes.
Right.
So, but for me, I don't have that luxury, right? To me,
No.
I'm there to risk it all and hope
Right.
for either I win it big or if not, I had great time doing it, right?
Right.
So I think it is the perspective of how often you play and that type thing. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate you coming on. This is awesome. Thank you for showing up and giving great content. So kind of giving a little experience what you did when you got started, and then kind of moving on to your life now. What your future of your YouTube experience and where you're going next.
Yeah. Happy to share. You just have to ask and I'll come on.
Oh, hey, I appreciate it. Well, good luck to you, and good luck to hitting that 100,000 subscriber
Yeah.
count.
Yeah.
You're,
Thank
you're
you.
you're you're right there at it, man. You're doing a great job. Thank you for all who in the comment section. Some good feedback here. There's Jeff, some Callie. So I appreciate it. Always got Nemo here. Thanks, Nemo, for showing up and chatting with us. And thank you again, Jeremy. You have a great day. And until next time, guys, mark the point. Stay awesome. Thanks, Jeremy.